welcome to another Italy Vino, where today we're going to be concentrating not on a particular wine but on a particular winery, because as it happens we've discovered here in Abruzzo one of the world wine industry's rising superstars right on our doorstep. It's a cantina called Cantina Orsogna. It's only about 6-7 miles away from us here at Villas for Two. It's been in existence for 41 years. It was founded in 1972, but it's really only over the past 3, 4, 5 years that it's risen to international prominence. In 2011 it was named Abruzzo Winery of the Year by the prestigious Vin Italy consortium of Italian wine trades. It went one better. In 2012, Vin Italy named Cantina Orsogna the best winery in all of Italy, which is, when you think about it, no mean achievement for really what is quite a small winery. So, what's all the fuss about? Well, being in Abruzzo, as you would expect, Cantina Orsogna does make all the typical traditional Abruzzese wine, the Montepulciano, the Trebbiano, the Pecorino, and so on and so on. But where it has sprung to prominence over the past few years is in its introduction of blended wines. Rather as Tuscan winemakers did maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, blending traditional wines, traditional grape varieties I should say, with non-traditional ones from that particular area. And that is exactly what Cantina Orsogna are doing here in Abruzzo. We've got two wines from what they call their Linea Prestige, their prestige line, what they believe to be the best wines that the winery is currently producing. There is a red, which is called Malverno, and a white, which is called Mirus. Now, the Malverno, which we'll try first, is, like I said, a red wine. It is a blend of Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, which is, of course, as we have come to realise, the best red wine grape in Abruzzo. But then, a surprise, the Montepulciano is blended with a very non-typical Abruzzo grape in the form of Malo. Now, the winery are very, very cagey about telling you exactly what proportion of Montepulciano and Malo go into this particular blend, but it's an intriguing proposition. Malo is a great variety that, if you're a big fan of claret, you will know that Malo is one of the mainstay grapes of the Bordeaux region, and it's interesting to find it surfacing here in Abruzzo. So Malverno, this is 2010 vintage, and it's a fairly hefty wine, 14.5% proof. And let's let this breathe a little bit. Bouquet is absolutely extraordinary. Montepulciano, that red fruit that is so typical of Montepulciano, but also that wonderful plummy jamminess that is so typical of the Malo grape. Now, while this is getting to harmonise with its surroundings, let me tell you a little bit about how it's made. Selected bunches of grapes, put in a vat, pressed. The skins and the pips and the stalks stay in contact with the juice for between 10-15 days. Wine is then racked off. It spends a minimum of 6 months in oak barrels, and then a further 3 months in the bottle, and then it's released out onto the market. As I said, this is the 2010 vintage, which should just about be hitting its stride nicely now. Bouquet, like I say, really extraordinary. Wow. Well, instantly you can see what the fuss is about. Malo, quite predominant. That wonderful softness that is in well-made Malo wine, that delicious, gosh, soft, velvety bramble fruit, jamminess in a nice way, not overcooked, but almost a sort of comforting smell. A little tannin at the end, quite nice. And a long, long, long finish. A little bit of tobacco, a little bit of dark chocolate. This is incredibly classy. An extraordinarily good wine that has won gold medals of late in Verona at a Vino Expo, in Germany at another big wine expo there, in Brussels as well, at the Concours Mondial in Brussels. So this is a wine that is picking up gold medals at prestige wine expos, certainly in Europe, and the 2010 vintage, for my money, this is a wine that is only going to go on improving for a couple of years or so. Difficult to put down. This is such a spiciness as well. It's something different every little sip. This is such a pleasant surprise, because when you hear about wineries that are winning awards left, right and centre, far too often the end product is a bit of a letdown. You say, well, is this what it's all about? But boy, that is really something else again. So, the Malverno 2010 gets us off to a great start. The next question now is, can the Mirus follow suit? Now, this is an even more complex blend, and believe it or not, there is not a traditional, well, I was going to say not a traditional Abruzzese grape in sight. Well, that's half true. 3 grapes go into this, and again in very closely guarded proportions, and 2 of them are global white wine superstars. Chardonnay Sauvignon Blanc. Chardonnay Sauvignon Blanc blend has been done umpteen gazillion times before, no surprise there. Wine number 3 is a kind of local grape called Malvasia. And it will be interesting to see what Malvasia brings to the party. I rather suspect that it's there, almost if you like, to provide an anchor for Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc, which are 2 very sort of disparate wines, very different characteristics, a pair of them. Wonderful, very golden, beautiful colour. Now, disappointingly, this has got no particular great scent to it, which, bearing in mind this is a Chardonnay blend, thankfully, thank you, unoaked Chardonnay as well. Sauvignon Blanc has got some sort of very pronounced sense to it, but, well, a little green apple, a little pear drop almost. Let's have a taste. Interesting. Nowhere near as good as this. I'll tell you that for a start. It's when I was reading the label of this, let me sort of approach this from an oblique angle. I was surprised to see that this is 14.5 proof, which is pretty hefty for a white wine, and for my money, too hefty. White wine for me is a summer drink, a glass of wine on a day like this, and you don't want to feel like sleeping the rest of the afternoon off if you've enjoyed a bottle of this with your lunch. This is acidic, which I suspect is the Chardonnay Malvasia coming into play somewhere. But I think maybe the alcoholic strength is sort of cutting that acidity. It needs a second taste. Now, this is when you start wondering, like I was saying a moment or so ago, what is all the fuss about? This wine too has won a couple of gold medals at Wine Expos, not as many as this. And I have to say that it's flummoxing me a little bit, because it's outside the experience I've had of tasting blended white wine. With this, Montepulciano and Merlot, that's an exciting combination. And you think, gosh, yes, that has promise, and the promise has been fulfilled in bucket loads in this bottle. This one, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Malvasia. Well, it doesn't have me sort of swinging from the rafters in excitement trying to get the bottle open. It has got no real great character. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I have to really say it like it is. It's okay. It's a perfectly pleasant, drinkable white wine. It's got a nice green apple acidity, which is refreshing, but it's a bit ponderous. It doesn't zing, which a really good white wine, a summer drinking white wine should. It's not refreshing. It's like I say, it's a little heavy, a little ponderous, dare I say it, a little bit ordinary. For me, there's no contest. The red is streets ahead, very superior. I would go out of my way to find a bottle of this. Not so with this. Interestingly, because of the fact that they are blended wines, they are not DOCG, DOC, anything as elevated as that. The Italian wine industry basically labels these as Blanc. Pretty much the lowest Italian wine rating, IGT, Indicazione di Geografica Tipica. Typical wine of the region in which they're produced. The region happens to be Abruzzo, but to call them typical wines of the area in which they're produced is barking mad. They are not typical of the wines that are produced in Abruzzo. They are absolutely atypical. But this is where sometimes the rank stupidity of trying to sort of, categorise wine comes into play. If it doesn't go in one pigeonhole, let's cram it in another. And if it's putting a square peg into a round hole, what the hell, let's do it anyway. This is not typical, neither of these are typical Abruzzo wines. This is, if you like, a new modern style of winemaking, the red and the white. And kudos to the winemakers, at least they're trying, at least they are trying to do something different. In my view, in my humble opinion, in the white they haven't succeeded. Conversely, in the red, boy, have they succeeded ever so well, and they will win more and more gold medals, and this will become really a super duper red wine to watch out for. You will get both of them in wine shops where you are, but be warned, they do not come cheap. Here in Abruzzo, these are €10 a bottle, and €10 a bottle for an IGT, a table wine, a non-denominated wine, is almost unheard of. Ordinary in label, very much not ordinary is what's in the bottle. The red for me stands out a mile. I would give that an easy 9 out of 10. It is absolutely sensational, brilliant wine. The blend of Montepulciano and Malo, an absolute 100% knockout winner. This one, the Mirus with Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc and Malvasia. Nice try. Sorry, for me, it hasn't worked. 7 out of 10. But well done for trying, and keep on doing it. So, with a runaway winner, and you will enjoy this, hunt it down. Let's round things off as usual by raising a glass of our wine of the month. This is Malverno. It comes from Italy's Winery of the Year 2012, Cantina Orsogna here in Abruzzo, Montepulciano Malo blend, and it's absolutely terrific. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you again very soon, but for now though, cheers.